A past life memory of being a ghost? Just when y'all thought I couldn't get any weirder. In one of Dolores Cannon's books called Five Lives Remembered, it was like one of her earliest hypnosis cases when she was still trying to figure out what the fuck past life regression is. In this case, pretty interesting. This woman named Anita was able to go into very deep trance states, and she could recall vivid memories of her past lives, one of which was a girl named Gretchen that I want to say was medieval Germany. I do know there was a castle involved because one night enemy soldiers invaded, and she was like a young girl, I want to say like a preteen, teenage girl. Gretchen's father had left with some men to get reinforcements, and the men who invaded wanted Gretchen to reveal where he was, which she wouldn't do. Long, horrible story short, they decapitated her and dismembered her and left her body parts in different parts of the castle as a message. Suddenly, Anita, as Gretchen, finds herself standing as a ghost outside of her body, and this happens surprisingly often. Like Dr. Michael Newton, his whole career is based on not past life regression, but regressing people to that in-between state. And even in researchers' case like Dr. Ian Stevenson and Jim B. Tucker, they have 20% of kids with past life memories also remember the in-between state. Anyway, I digress. The point is, she was now standing outside of her body and confused and fucking pissed off. And she decided she was going to fix the issue in this spiritual body and protect her father and the other people associated with the castle. And she did. She realized that she was invisible to them, and she took advantage of it by terrorizing them. But it was so smart. She would isolate the individual men. Instead of doing a grand show in front of everyone, she would isolate the men and like terrify him by like throwing swords across the room or doing things that would freak him out. And then the other people would turn on him for being superstitious or whatever, and then they ended up getting rid of their leader because they thought that he'd lost his fucking mind. Also, during this time, while she was acting in this ghostly experience, the other women there who'd been left behind were being tortured for information, so she was also trying to protect them, and it worked. Gretchen's father and his men did come back, and they were able to settle things. Unfortunately, Gretchen couldn't let go, and this is what you kind of hear with like ghost cases of people being like really attached to a particular environment. That's what happened to her. She was so obsessed with protecting the castle that long after she should have stayed there, she stuck around. She couldn't bring herself to leave, and then she had this memory of like her higher self or a spirit guide or something trying to like gently remove her. She had a really hard time with it, and they explained that like she wasn't supposed to do that you're not really supposed to stay around as a ghost. She needed to detach, and then she had to go spend like over 100 years in the in-between state before she was allowed to incarnate again.